Hello everybody, my name's Jon McMillin and today I'll be running you through an example kickoff video, and the purpose of this video is to give you an example of how we would introduce Alteryx Adventure to your teams and give you a bit of a rundown around what's included in the program and how best to get Alteryx Adventure started in your organization. So throughout this video, I'll be going through the Alteryx Adventures guidebook. And this is our main resource that we use to introduce our team members to the Alteryx Adventure, and forms a really solid reference for them as well as yourself to kind of keep in a handy spot so that you can refer back to it on a regular basis. I'll also, throughout this video, call out the links that are included in the Adventures guidebook, and I'll especially call out the ones that need to be updated so that they can link to resources that you've created yourself in your organization. So let's get started and start off with the kickoff video and go from there. Hello everybody and welcome to our Alteryx Adventure kickoff session. In this session, I'll run you through the Adventurer's Guidebook, which is your handy tool to navigate through your adventure while learning Alteryx. This guidebook will be very important for you to understand and to keep handy so that you know what's next on your journey to becoming an Alteryx rockstar. So before you, a grand journey awaits. So through this program, you'll begin to explore and develop Alteryx skills, and Alteryx Adventure will provide you a path to follow with many challenges along the way to keep you interested. This guidebook will help you to become an Alteryx rockstar, giving you the skills and confidence to jump in and experience the thrill of solving. So the Alteryx Adventure has 5 different levels. It starts at Rookie and proceeds through to Apprentice, Pro, Expert, and Rockstar. So now that we understand what the levels are, how do you level up? Well, we complete challenges. What challenges, you ask? Well, this is our base adventure path for all beginner adventurers. Later on, we'll explain to you how those people with a little bit more experience or that want to take a shortcut here and there can do so with our accelerators. But what I'll do at the moment is I'll take you through what challenges are required and give you a high-level overview. And then later on in the presentation, in this kickoff video, we'll go through and explain the challenges in greater detail as well. So to begin with, as an Alteryx rookie, we'd like you to complete the Getting Started learning path. This is a introductory learning path provided by Alteryx on their community forum, and really helps you to get started in understanding how to use Alteryx as well. As we move into Apprentice and Pro, we start to introduce some of the weekly challenges. These weekly challenges are tools that are provided by the Alteryx community themselves and have different levels of difficulty, ranging from beginner to intermediate and then finally advanced. These challenges are really helpful because it allows you to solve typically they're a business question that Alteryx has been asked, and allows you to experience how to use Alteryx in different circumstances, and also gives you a really good indication in how other industries use data. And you may be able to take some of your learnings from some of those different industries and these weekly challenges and implement them into your day-to-day. As it comes to Pro, we begin to introduce certification. Now, don't be too scared. Certification isn't too difficult. Alteryx hosts these online exams for you to participate in. And once you complete them, you get a really nice badge that you can share on your LinkedIn as an external proof of competence in the Alteryx tool. So in the Pro level, we ask you to complete the course certification, and also at Rockstar level, we ask you to complete the advanced certification. When it comes to beginning your expert level, we start to introduce some more soft skills development. And we do this by two methods. The first one is to have you give back to the Alteryx community a little bit and post solutions and answer questions on the Alteryx community and have your post marked as the accepted solution. Now, this is really helpful for you to be able to understand a question that somebody is asking you, break it down, and provide an answer using Alteryx as well. And that's a really key skill for any analyst to have. And the second set of questions or community soft skills development that we ask you to participate in are the brown bag sessions. Now, what a brown bag session is it is basically a show and share, or you communicate your learnings that you've had within Alteryx. So if you have just learned how to create macros, or want to explain the difference between a normal macro, a batch macro, and an iterative macro, an Alteryx brown bag session is a really good way to do that. And basically, you would organize a meeting to have with your other peers in your organization, and to attempt to share knowledge that you've learnt either through the adventure or during your day-to-day as well. And as you can see in the Rockstar level, we're still getting you to do some of the challenges. You're doing a lot more soft skills development and also the advanced certification as well. One of the questions that we get a lot is, what do these numbers mean? So what these numbers are, how many tasks are required for that particular level. So for you to get your Alteryx Apprentice, you need to complete 5 weekly beginner challenges and 3 weekly intermediate challenges. But for Pro, you need to complete an additional 7 challenges for the beginner challenges, or an additional 5 for the intermediate challenges. So in total, by the end of hitting your Alteryx Rockstar, you would have completed 12 beginner challenges. So yes, it's a cumulative count, not a total. So earlier I mentioned shortcuts, and these are particularly helpful for those people who've already got some experience in Alteryx, but can also be helpful for those people that are wanting to skip a couple of levels and level up really quickly. And our accelerators focus on 2 main areas. The first area is certification, and the second area is also community involvement. So if you obtain your core certification at any time throughout your adventure, you'll be jumped straight to Pro. That's even if you haven't completed your getting started learning path. If you're confident enough that you can take and pass that core certification, then give it a shot and you can jump straight to Pro and skip those earlier levels. Additionally, if you obtain your advanced certification, we'll jump you straight to expert so that you don't have to do the few levels beforehand. And the other path or accelerator path that we mentioned earlier was community involvement. So if you have earned your core certification and you've either become a member of one of the Alteryx community programs or you've received an Alteryx Excellence Award, we'll take that and jump you straight to expert. So just to kind of help you understand what that means, here are the accelerator paths and what they actually look like. So this is the path for somebody that's completed their core certification. So they complete their core and they jump straight to pro. And then that means in the expert level, they only need to do 7 intermediate challenges, 5 advanced challenges, have 2 posts marked as accepted solutions on community, and complete 2 brown bags, and then also complete the rockstar level as well. And for the advanced certification, as I mentioned before, you get jumped straight to expert once you've completed it. And then you only need to do the advanced weekly challenges, the post marked as solutions, and also the brown bag sessions as well. And notice how we're not asking you to do more of them. It's still the same number as if you're on the previous levels as well. And the last one, the community engagement. So again, if you receive your core and you're part of a community program, or you've received an Alteryx Excellence Award, you'll be jumped straight to expert. In this next section, a section of the Adventurer's Guidebook, we're going to go through each of the challenges in depth so that you can really understand what the challenges are and how you can get involved. So our first one is the Getting Started Learning Path. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's an excellent introduction to Alteryx, and it will teach you the fundamentals of Designer and start to prepare you for your core certification. The learning path has about 15 hours of content with 16 hands-on drills, 4 practice workflows, and a final capstone project as well. Throughout the guidebook, these little black boxes typically indicate a clickable link. So if I click on this Get Started button and I select Allow, it will take me direct to that resource on Alteryx Community. So here you can see I've been linked directly to the Getting Started Learning path, and once I log in, I will be able to start the learning path and have my progress kind of captured as well. Excellent. So the next set of challenges are the weekly challenges. Now, for me, these weekly challenges are really amazing for teaching you new techniques in particular. So what are they? So they're a regular dose of Alteryx brain food. They will test your skills and challenge you to learn something new. The challenges are submitted by the Alteryx community, and they give you an opportunity to learn new tools and also to face challenges that you may not face in your day-to-day activities. The learning the new tools thing is really important because often there are a lot of different ways to achieve an outcome in Alteryx, and some are a lot easier than others. So as you learn more tools, you'll start to learn easier ways of achieving the same outcome. And as I mentioned before, there are 3 different levels of difficulty: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. What we ask you to do with the weekly challenges is to share your answers on the Alteryx community as well. So this is really helpful because it allows you to see how others have solved the problem, or lend a hand to other community members that are potentially struggling. In particular, one thing that I do once I post my own challenge is I'll have a look at a few different other solutions to see if they've solved it in a different way, and I will often unpack how they've solved it, take some learnings away from it, and re-attempt the challenge and resubmit as well. You may even find that somebody's able to complete the challenge in a handful of tools where you've used a whole bunch. And again, as I mentioned earlier, just click this Learn More button, and it should take you out to the challenge index, which is a really helpful thing to have a quick link to. It has a list of all of the weekly challenges that have been submitted and provided by Alteryx. And as you can see, we're at 287, and the list is just growing every week. So another part of the challenge, and this one is really important for us, and that's to have your post marked as an accepted solution on the Alteryx community. The thing that we really believe in is that the Alteryx community is what separates Alteryx from its competition. It is an amazing resource with many absolute fanatics who will be able to help answer your burning questions. Typically, if you're coming up to a problem in Alteryx, somebody else has had that problem and they've already posted a solution for you so that you can really easily find and answer your questions so that you can do your job much more effectively. And this little challenge in the Alteryx Adventure is important because it allows us to give back to the community and to help it flourish as well. And that helps to build and maintain engagement in the community as well. The other thing that's really helpful about providing solutions on the community is that it helps you build a personal brand within the community. And as you start to develop your personal brand, Alteryx will start to notice, and they may even invite you to become one of their community program members through something like an Alteryx Innovator or one of their other community programs that they offer. So there are 2 links here to 2 different blog posts around understanding what solutions are and also why they matter. It's good to read both of these and to understand them as well. One thing just on these posts as having your post marked as solutions, it can be a little bit frustrating at times when you provide the correct answer and the author of the post doesn't mark it as the accepted solution. In that case, what you could do maybe is send the person a PM and ask them to mark it as a solution for you. Just give them a little bit of a nice friendly reminder, or post a few different answers. Unfortunately, sometimes people don't mark them, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes, and you need to kind of work with that. The other thing that you could do is answer questions that your colleagues have. So here at JLL, we have a really busy Teams environment where we have quite a few different people asking different questions. And if you provide a solution on that Teams environment, we'll often accept that as a post marked as an accepted solution as well. So it doesn't always have to be on the community, but it's a good thing to be involved in the community and give back to it. Okay, and now we're into the Alteryx Brown Bag sessions. And these are informal training and learning sessions created and run by adventurers themselves. And what we find is that the best way to ensure that you know something inside out and back to front is to actually teach it to somebody. And that is really helpful, because being able to teach people and walk people through a solution is something that you're going to have to do in your day-to-day role as an analyst. And the more effective you become at doing that, the more effective you will be as an analyst as well. Additionally, at JLL, what we also allow where you've presented externally to be recognized as a brown bag session. So if you've presented at a Alteryx user group, an Alteryx conference, a podcast, or something Alteryx related, typically we would accept that as a brown bag submission as well. And again, what we're really trying to drive here is to help you to improve your presentation and communication skills, and allowing you to become much more effective as a communicator as well. And the certifications. So certifications are a great way to show off your analytical superpowers. What it really does is it provides a benchmark for you to say, hey, I've got this minimum level of skill. And it's a great benchmark because it's recognized by anybody within the Alteryx community. If you've completed your core, your advanced, or even your expert exams, everybody knows what kind of skills that you have. So they're a very helpful way to communicate and assess the skill level that you have. In our Adventure program, we only cater to the core and advanced certifications. The expert certification is really next level, and there's only a handful of people in the world that is expert certified. So we want the adventure to be an achievable outcome for you, which is why we don't request or demand that the expert certification is passed. So what are the certifications? So they're a free and on-demand exam that you can take, and they're open book. They're about 2 hours each, and I think that you can attempt them once every week. If you don't pass, you have to wait for a week or until the next week to attempt again. Handily, Alteryx have provided some prep guides for the exam as well. And what these do is they provide the details of what's in the exam, the tools and the topics that are covered as well. And these are an absolutely fantastic resource in prepping for your Alteryx exams as well. And they've changed the layout of these a little bit. So here you can see, what tools are being used, what they kind of expect you to be able to do. They provide some steps for you to prepare for your core your exams, and give you a timeline as well, some tips, and some helpful additional resources as well. And they even suggest some weekly challenges, which can be extremely helpful for you to really pass your exam the first time. But again, the exams are completely free, or at least the core and advanced ones are. So there's no penalty really for not passing it the first time. You can take it as many times as you want, but I think there's a limit of one attempt per week. And you can click on this link to register for either exam. Okay, so far we've talked about what the Alteryx Adventure is, what the guidebook does for you as adventurers, what the different levels are, and also what the challenges are. So the next part of the presentation is around how do you submit your work and check your progress as well. So what we've done is we've set up a form that allows you to submit your challenges that you've completed. Normally what we would do is we would have you click this image in here and be taken out to our form. Because this is a a video of an example kickoff, what you'll have to do in your own Adventurer's Guidebook is to update this image so that it links to the form you've created yourself, so that your adventurers can submit the form as well. And that form is detailed in the blog posts as well. So yeah, normally you'd click on this, be sent out to the form. Ideally, the form is relatively smart in that you select what you're submitting, or the challenge that you're submitting, and then you it's smart in terms of what it presents next, so that you don't potentially confuse your adventurers as well. The other thing about submitting your work that we've covered in the blog post is the bulk upload. So if somebody has a lot of previous challenges completed, rather than asking them to fill out the form for every time they've completed a challenge, often we'll send them a bulk upload template that allows them to, in Excel, just list out the work that they've done, and they send it to you, you review them, and then load them separately as a bit of a quicker way to get their previous work into your adventure databases. But again, that's covered in the blog posts. And the final thing is around how do you track where you're at on your adventure. So we have a personal progress and team leaderboard dashboard that works together to allow users to identify where they're at on the adventure, and also where they stack up against their other team members. And again, this link will need to be updated to link out to your own adventurer's dashboard as well. And just to show you what they look like, so you can track your personal progress. So you can see what track you're on. So at the moment, I'm on the advanced track. You can see what level you're on. I'm at the expert level. And you can see how many challenges you've completed and what you still need to do. So you can see that I've done around about 2 hard challenges, and also the advanced certification. And I've still got a handful of hard challenges to do. And I also still need to submit solutions and have them marked as the accepted solution, and also to lead some brown bag sessions as well. And here's what the leaderboard looks like. So you can see here that I'm 4th on the leaderboard with 580 points. And there's some others above me that had some more, and some below that aren't. And what we typically use this leaderboard for is a little bit of internal competition, but the primary use of the leaderboard for us is more to identify who you could reach out to ask for advice, not just in Adventure, but also on the not just in Alteryx itself, but also on the Adventure as well. So you can figure out how to best navigate and get to the next levels. So that's it for our Adventurer's Handbook run through. As I mentioned, there are a few places that you need to update when you're launching this into your own organization. Mostly just around the links to your own forms, as well as your dashboard that shows the progress and the leaderboard as well. If you've got any questions, please feel free to refer back to the blog post and go from there, or reach out to Fiona or myself as well.